Now, one of the concepts I want to teach you, it all starts this way. It starts with a concept called surrender. What is surrender? Well, sometimes in the military it can be like the Japanese on the USS Missouri in 1945 with Douglas MacArthur and everybody else. They're on the surrender deck of the USS Missouri, and the Japanese Imperial forces are surrendering to the Allies. It's a very somber occasion. Contracts are signed, and the enemy lays down their weapons, and it causes peace for at least a time on this earth. Surrender for me, what I'm telling you, is a very somber, serious thing. It can be done in a few minutes. For me, it took about 3 hours. But you don't have to do what I'm telling you, but if you do, I guarantee you the results. You can do it some other way if you want. But we have to surrender. Let me time out for just a second. When you surrender, you're surrendering from yourself. You're surrendering to a higher power. If you notice the common theme behind the NCAA tournament in basketball, football, and other athletic events, the NFL, the PGA, everything else, even bowling. I love bowling. I love NASCAR. I'm one of those kind of guys. But the common theme in winning at athletics or business is that the team, especially the leader, surrenders from themselves. They almost don't exist except to serve with loyalty, integrity, and trust. Then that person teaches the whole team and pulls them together, and they have to play. They have to play for a higher purpose. When this happens, it's time and time and time and time again. This very simple concept, surrendering to oneself and playing for a greater purpose for the whole. Sounds easy. It is easy, but you first have to know that's the way things work. If you want to win in your business, if you want to win in athletics, if you want to win in your relationships and your finances, that has to happen. So the first thing I want to teach you here is surrender. How do you do it? Well, I guarantee you again, if you do what I did, it will work. There's other ways to do it too. What I did, I was watching a documentary on TV. I was just flipping channels. We have a big screen. And I saw this documentary on this religious channel. And it was King David. It's Solomon's dad, the great-great-great-grandfather of Jesus. Anyway, he was beloved by his creator, God. And God loved him. But he had done something really terrible. Even though he was an awesome guy, he actually committed adultery and murder. And two bad things. And he didn't admit up to this and turn from that. In the Bible, it calls it sin. I just call it turning away and turning your eyes back home to your Creator. All right? He didn't do that. He tried to hide it, and he was in such pain. Some of you are in this pain because you've done things that nobody knows about but you. Well, I have news for you. Good news. Your Creator knows you did it, and He's willing to forgive you. Whoa. So how that works is when you ask for forgiveness, and this is, frankly, there's only one way, and I'll get to that, but when you do, He can only see two things. That's how powerful He is. He sees the good stuff, and He sees the things you've asked for forgiveness for. Nothing else. Instantly. Okay? So what I did when I surrendered, I didn't plan this, I just did it. I went into my closet. It's a pretty big closet, carpeted floor, and I went in and I went on my face and put my arms out, and I just talked to God and told Him I just spilled my guts. Believe me, when you spill your guts, He can take it. And He's not out to get you. If He was out to get you, He would have already gotten you. He knows everything about you. He knows everything you've done. He knows everything you should have done that you didn't do. And He knows what you're thinking right now. He knows you're watching this video. That is cool. So I went in, I spilled my guts. I told Him everything I'd done wrong, and I asked Him to forgive me. I told Him everything I didn't do that I should have done, and I asked Him to forgive me. Then I talked to Him about the future. I talked to Him about the past. I talked to Him about when I was a little kid. I talked to Him about when I'm going to be old, and all the things I want. It was unbelievable. And you know what's really cool? Prayer is when you're talking to your Creator. And this is what boggles my mind. Most people, if they pray, it's one way. That's not prayer. Prayer is transmitting and receiving. In the radio business, that's called a transceiver. You transmit and receive. Most people, when they pray, they're just transmitters. They transmit, they pray, they pray. And even deacons in churches, even pastors, even priests, they pray, and if you get to know them and you talk to them, they are so frustrated because it appears that their prayers are not getting answered. And there's really good reasons for that I'll teach you a little now and a lot more later. But praising, this is hold on to yourself here. Again, remember, I'm a business person, but praising your Creator is the most powerful thing you can do for Him. He says He inhabits the praises of His people. Is that unbelievable? So if you praise Him, He then must come from the supernatural fourth dimension, come through that curtain, and come and be with you. It's what He says. And I've experienced it every time. And some of you say, man, I'm in such trouble. I'm so oppressed. I'm in such difficult circumstances. I can't even open my mouth. I can't praise. Folks, if that's where you are, you must do this. The times when you want to praise your Creator, your Maker, the least, you just say, I can't do it right now. I just feel too terrible. It's awful. You don't understand, Mike. Yes, I do understand. You see, the times, like I was saying, the times that we want to praise Him the least is the times when the forces of darkness, hang with me, come on, when the forces of darkness are oppressing and depressing you. When you're oppressed and it feels heavy and dark around you, it's not something's just happening. Something very specific is happening. The forces of darkness, while I'm on this topic, they want to do three things. They can only do three things: lie, kill, and destroy. Lie, kill, and destroy. They make Osama bin Laden look like your best friend in the first grade. They are very, very good at what they do. They know everything about you. They know every weakness you have. They know how to take advantage of your weaknesses. So when that heaviness comes around you and that oppression and the depression, which is all over, and you start praising your Creator. Now, if you say, Mike, hey, I don't want other people to know that I'm praying and I don't go to church and stuff, and because people around me, they're very sophisticated and they don't pray and they don't like to talk about God. Fine, that's okay. Do this in private. You don't have to telecast this to everybody. Just get in your car and do it. Do it in the bathroom. Do it at your home. Do it somewhere private. It works great, even when you're alone. You don't have to do it with a bunch of people. So the times when it's the most oppressive and the most depressing and the most hopeless, that's when you praise Him. And that's when He comes. And that's when that stuff has to leave. Because when He comes, that stuff cannot be there with Him. It must leave. Now, I know this is a really different way of looking at things, but hang with me here. Because again, is what you've been doing for the last 10 years work the way you wanted it to? Most of the time, no, it hasn't been. So remember, we got to do things we've never done to go places we've never been. So hang with me. So when you praise Him, now I'm going to go religious with you on here for just a minute. So hang with me. It's a cool story. There's a guy or a creature called Lucifer, and he was the head of all the angels in heaven with God in the supernatural, okay? Pretend like this is Star Wars kind of thing. On that side, the other realm, okay? But he was the head angel. You know what he did? You know what his job was? His main job? His main job was praising God. He was a choir praise leader. That's what he did. And then he rebelled and he fell and he came into this dimension and he causes havoc. He can't do anything else. But the reason why this praise works, it's a double-edged sword, like a sickle, like this, like you're chopping wheat. Because when you praise your Creator, He comes. He must be there. And then when the forces of darkness, who are led by this fallen angel, Lucifer, he hears the praise of his God, the one that he led all that worship to, and he remembers instantly what it was like and the privileges he had and the fellowship with his Creator God. And he cannot stand that. This is a secret weapon that's not secret anymore. Again, when you praise Him, God comes, He's with you, He inhabits the praises of His people, and the leader of the forces of darkness, you cut him off at the legs. He can't be there, and neither can any of his people, any of his other host of darkness. So he's got to leave, and your Creator who loves you unconditionally must come. That, if you don't get anything else out of this, whether you subscribe to this newsletter or not, That is a life-changing deal, and there's hundreds of these type of things that I want to share with you.